When you feel lost and confused, Captain Math will help you use manipulative views in math. He will guide you on the right path. Captain Math makes math fun. Explain hard concepts to everyone. Simplify so you understand. Love math because he's the man. Captain Math loves what he do. Works hard to explain it to you. You feel great when he is done. Math's not hard, it's fun. When you feel lost and confused, Captain Math will help you use manipulative views in math. He will guide you on the right path.
It's Captain Math! And guess what? I have heard a lot of questions from my subscribers. And one of the main questions that I've heard from my Captain Math board was, what is the difference between adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing? So, in the next minute, I'm going to show you the difference between adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. See you soon! Math is no challenge for me, Captain Math. And I have heard a lot of you are concerns about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So I have created a problem that uses the same two numbers, but one is adding, one is subtracting, one is multiplying, and one is dividing. And I hope after today's episode, you will not have any fear of using the math operations. So, let's look at our first problem. 8 plus 2. So, as you know, it's nice to have manipulatives so that you can do this and see with your eyes and understand the math concepts. So I have my red dice and I have my blue dice. And we're going to use our manipulatives to understand how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And the two numbers we're going to use today are 8 and 2. So let's look at our first one. All right, 8 plus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count out 8 red dice. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we have 8 red dice. Now we're going to add. That means we're going to count 2 blue dice. 1, 2. Now, in order to add, we got to put them together and find out how many dice we have all together. What is the total? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, our first answer using the numbers 8 and 2 and adding is 8 red dice plus 2 blue dice equals 10 dice in all. Very good. So we know how to add. Now, let's say we can know how to subtract using the same two numbers, 8 and 2. So we're going to put our stuff back because now we're getting ready for subtraction. Now, Our next problem is 8 minus 2. So now we're going to count 8 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, when we subtract, that means we're going to have lower than what we have already. So we're going to make 2 of these disappear. They're gone. Now, how many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we know that 8 minus 2 is 6. So now we know how to add 8 plus 2, and now we know how to subtract 8 minus 2. See the difference already? When you add, it gets bigger. When you subtract, it gets smaller because we're taking away. All right, let's look at our next problem. Ooh, big 3rd and 4th grade problem here. 8 times 2. So let's put our dice back. Now, in earlier episodes, we learned that 8 times 2 is the same as 8 groups of 2s. So that means we got to put these red dice in groups of 2s 8 times. So we're going to put them in groups of 2s. 1, 2, that's the first group. 1, 2, that's the second group. 1, 2, that's the third group. 1, 2, that's the fourth group. 1, 2, that's the fifth group of 2s, because they're in groups of 2s. 1, 2, that's the sixth group of 2s. 1, 2, that's the seventh group of 2s. And 1, 2, that's the eighth group of 2s. So do we have 8 times 2? Do we have 8 groups of 2s? Yes, we do. Here's 1 group of 2s, 2 groups of 2s, 3 groups of 2s, 4 groups of 2s, 5 groups of 2s, 6 groups of 2s, 7 groups of 2s, 8 groups of 2s. So basically, we're counting by what? We're counting by 2s. Let's count by 2s together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, good job. 14, 16. So 8 times 2 is what? 16. Great job. Great job. Now we got to do one more. 8 divided by 2. So for this last one, we're going to use the blue ones instead, because we used the red ones for the last couple. So we're going to put the red dice back over here, and we're going to use the blue ones now to show 8 divided by 2. Now, when you divide, you want to share equally. So, but you got to realize, what are you sharing? That first number, 8 divided by 2, that first number says that's what you're going to share. You're going to share 8. The second number is how you're going to share it. So that means we're going to share it in this example, 2 groups. So we got to make 2 groups. But we got to have 8. So let's count 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 blue dice. That's what it says, 8. And now we're going to divide it into how many groups? 2 groups. So that means I'm going to have to figure out a way how I'm going to divide these 8 blue dice into 2 groups. You have any ideas? That's great. I'm going to put one on each side, and then that'd be my 2 groups, right? So I'm going to put one on this side, one on this side. Okay? Now, I still got to divide these up. So I'm going to put another one on this side, and I'm going to put another one on this side because we got to share it in 2 groups. Here's one group, here's another group. Because it says 8 divided by 2. That means I got to have 2 groups. I still can take some more of these, can I? So I'm going to put one over here, and I'm going to put this one over here. Can I do it again? Can I divide these up into the 2 groups? That's right. I'm going to put one over here, and I'm going to put this last one over here. As you can see, here are my 2 groups. I started off with 8 blue dice, and I divided them into 2 groups. Now, the answer will be how many are there in each group. So how many are in this group? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how many is in this group? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we share equally? Because when you divide, you want to make sure you got the same amount on each side. Did we share equally? Do they have the same amount on each group? That's right. So, 8 that we started off with, and we divided into 2 groups, which is here. Here are my 2 groups. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. I got 4 in this group. I got 4 in this group. I hope that today's episode made adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing a lot simpler. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and share, because Captain Math loves math, and he loves to use manipulatives to make math concepts easy for you.